Hey everybody, I'm going to do a little VR tutorial for the Facebook 360 Spatializer tools. So I'm in Reaper and I'm not going to cover the basics because there are videos that do that. I just wanted to show the process of taking stereo tracks, routing them to a group, doing it in Reaper, typical workflows, getting things working in 3D and how this thing works. So I've got the session open here. This is using the Facebook template that comes for Reaper. You have two basic masters, the 3D master and a headlock stereo. Headlock stereo for VO and music, typically anything that's not panned, and 3D binaural, and 3D master where you route every single thing that's binaural, and the 3D master has the plugin on it that is the converter, and it also goes to the control. So this is following the video, and you can see I'm wearing the Oculus, which is tracking and on. So as I turn, I'm hearing what would be happening on the Oculus headset, but with good headphones. So I'm getting that from the video. I'm also decoding binaural while I listen. That's what you need to do while you listen, not when you bounce it, but just while you're listening, and controls the room as well. Internal room. So what I've been doing is I took an Ableton Live template, not a template, a blank thing, put the video in, did all my design, bounced everything out as individual assets, imported into Reaper just because I like working in Ableton better. Got everything in here. I have a video on its own track. That's not the 3D video. That's just for better sync because there's something weird about the Facebook video client that's a little off, and that's problematic in a dense piece. So I have this up just for sync internally in here, and I have the Facebook video tool up, the video player playing in VR mono. That's the format right here. So that's how you get things in sync. You run that app, this syncs up to that, and I'm routing everything that's 3D into the 3D master. But to do so, you have to go through a few steps. So here's an example. Here's a building appear, and we're going to play just those sounds. And you'll notice the sync difference between these two videos. The Facebook client is earlier somehow. I don't know why, but I'm going to go with the one in the session because that's more reliable. So what I'm going to do is group those because those are basically the same sound. I could have consolidated them. Oh, really? Well, let's reopen it. I think it had a problem with the latest version. Let's make sure it saved my last changes. The last thing I was doing was building a pier. Yeah, well, everything is probably still good. I believe I saved before I did that because I'm a good audio engineer that likes to just save too often. So we're going to group them together, and we're going to call it building a pier group. Now I've got two stereo tracks, and I'm going to route them. Right click on the routing to shift select both, right click, and it'll do the same operation to both. So you go into the parent send folder, and that's this one right here. And you're going to unsend to anything it's currently sending to. So this route means it's going to the parent folder send, and the parent folder send needs to be 8 channels. It needs to send to the 3D master, and it needs to uncheck master send, and you need to set multi-channel source 8. So whenever you create a new group or anything that goes to the 3D master, it has to have the routing of no master send, 8 channels, 1 through 8, 3D master, just like this. Then you have to add the FB360 Spatializer. And that's right here. So now we have that. And it's currently set to left. This is where you choose how many channels are going into it. So it can be left, right, a mix down of the two into a mono format, or stereo, which is what I want because I designed these things as stereo for a reason. It gives me more control over the stereo pan. Oh, goodness. it hasn't been crashing this bad. I can only assume it's because I'm doing Bandicam while I'm recording this workflow. So you just have to stick with me. Let's get this going. Insert new track, building, group. But you can see it all again. Shift click them and drag them into the group of the building group. Right click them, parent folder send. Right click them, unsend from anything else. They're going to the parent. Now I can go to the parent, change the routing to 8 channels, make a send to the 3D master, change the send, so it's only going to the 3D master. Now the subtracks are going to this. This is 8 channels. It's sending to that, and I need to make that multi-channel source 8. So it gets all channels going to the 3D master. Then you go to the FX, you hit FB360 Spatializer. If it feels like cooperating sometime today. So we'll go ahead and solo this. Great. So I'm going to put these positionally where it belongs. And they're going to do stereo. And sometimes you have to do it twice because it's just like that. It's buggy tools. These are new tools. Got to give them a break. All right. So the buildings are here and here. Approximately. Now these distances are whacked out. You actually have to hit that zoom out quite a bit. Now this is a close building, so we don't want it terribly far. You'll notice that the distance is changing as I drag out. That's what this is, distance and azimuth. Distance and azimuth here, and this is elevation and azimuth. So elevation, azimuth, distance, azimuth, between the two, you've got it covered. Now we need to automate them, so we're going to get them in the basic place where they start. Okay, right there. And you'll notice I'm going to be going by the video window because that's just going to be more reliable. Okay, so that's about right for this. And now I need to mess with the elevation. So to do so, I need to change the panning. I'm going to make it touch. It's the one I generally start with, and you do so by expanding the group. Click this and then change the automation mode, and it will enable anything I touch. So we're going to change the elevation as it goes. So I'm going to expand this selection, so give me a little wiggle room. Click at the beginning. That's all left clicking and selecting. And I'm going to change the elevation as it plays. And I did it too much. And notice I'm going by the Facebook video, not this. Not fun, but it is what it is. At least you have the right kind of position, and you can use both together in tandem to get something going. So right there. Now, I'm not trying to be realistic with this. We could send it to a room. We could put it to reverbs, make a separate group, do all that stuff. This isn't the purpose of this video. This is not trying to be realistic. This is a sci-fi thing. So that's one way to do that pan, and it's kind of the simplest operation. Change the channels, adjust them, do the automation. If you need to hide them when you're done, you click hide all. But if you want to do them again, and you need to do more automation, you have to show all and arm all visible. And then you can do this again. So if you hit hide all, it won't allow you to do automation on everything. You have to hit show all active, arm all visible. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not a Reaper expert. These are just things I've been figuring out. And there you have it. So I would go in, I'd hide them all, get rid of them, and I'd mark all 3 of these as a track color of green. And I've been doing that just headlocked green, yellow, stereo master, and I only mark them when I'm done with the first pass. Probably mark them all to red when I'm done, just keeping track of things. And you can go through and do more. So I'm going to do the sonar that I made in Serum. And I'm going to make that a track on its own so you can see what it's like when you don't do a group. So what you have to do is oh, never mind. Now, I'm not sure I saved, and if I didn't, give the tutorial a little break. At least I'm doing an easy one. I didn't save, so I lost that one. But let's go over the sonar. That'll only take a second to redo anyway. So the sonar is these beeps, and it's designed to be in front to direct attention forward. So I'm going to make this its own track, and I'm going to make it 8 channels, and I'm going to keep it going to the 3D master, but I am going to adjust to 8 channels because that's the requirement. So now, right now, I have this one only sending to the 3D master, which is great. It's a standalone track, and I'll go to FB360 Spatializer, and I will choose stereo twice until it lets me. This is the auto arrange. It's a very nice little thing, and I'm gonna put them right here. Notice the min distance and max distance is very wise-esque. Factor multiplies the attenuation as it occurs. I don't want much attenuation, but I do want room, so I'm just gonna turn them on. And now we have that going there. Now let's make sure it's working. If I put these way out in the distance, you can hear it is working. So this will control how far away things seem because of this attenuation. Again, now that I'm the distance of 6 meters, this will still be full volume. And if I increase the factor, it'll make them seem quieter because it's increasing the multiplier of that distance. So that's that one. We'll go ahead and leave it like that. I might add more reverb later, but this will do for now. I'm going to go ahead and save project as 10. I'm going to do the group again. And you'd think it'd be boring, and if you don't need it, don't stick around. I'm just going to do this all fast. Select them both. Right-click them, parent fold, send. Right-click them, unselect the 3D master. And any operation you do while they're selected, you just have to click, and it'll do it to all of them. Building group. Add the effect, FB360 Spatializer. Well, I should probably change the routing first. Track channels 8. Sends 3D master. Undo master send. Audio 8 channels. That's 8 channels. Check that out. This to this. Solo that. Get it starting there. Click on the left locator. Let's go to the left locator. Add the FB360 Spatializer. Put it in stereo mode. Auto arrange. Move these to where those buildings were. Add it in trim mode. Change it to touch. Change the elevation as appropriate. Now remember, I'm syncing to the video window, not this video. It seems to be more reliable. Cool. So that'll do for that. I kind of want to adjust this factor, make him. You could try to give him room, see how that sounds. The one gets too high. There it is. Cool. So now you have the building group. You have it tracking. You have the track color of green because it's done. You save it. Go to track, hide all. Now you have a nice clean sonar and building group. One's in a group. And that's how it's done.